All right. Good evening, everyone. Today is July 17th, 2024. Welcome everyone to the stream. I am Eric Hall, your success concierge, and I want to welcome you to today's stream. So let's check out what we got going on here in the chat. Sorry for the delay. A little bit of technical difficulties as well. You know, had some power outages, some crazy things going on over here, but like anything else, I still pops my collar. So how's everybody out there doing this evening? Let me see what's going on in the chat. But we gonna jump right into it because I am a little bit behind. But we got to make sure I'm looking good, looking on point, as I always do as your success concierge. But let's talk about the scent of the day because I was thinking about the person I'm doing the case study on. As you'll see here in the chat or see in the title, Kyrie Irving talking about coming of age. He played Uncle Drew as well too. So I'm like, young man, old man, kind of different type of vibe. So I'm like, what would he wear? So it's summertime. You going out to play a little bit ball. You want something cool, something refreshing, something versatile. So I went with none other than Dolce and Gabbana, a light blue. You can see that right there. They've done a couple enhancements to this fragrance, and they do this for men as well as women. And I really like this fragrance, just especially for the warmer weather, the summertime, because it's a cool, refreshing fragrance. Lasts well on my skin, projects, and it's soft, calming, and it's very inoffensive. So it's versatile. You can wear this to the office. You can wear this to happy hour. You can wear this on date night. You can wear this just lounging around the house. So Dolce and Gabbana, a light blue, can't go wrong with this. So let's get into the topic that we were going to talk about this evening. Let me take a sip of the water. So, who am I? I am Eric Carr, your success concierge, personal and corporate brand and image consultant. And what I help individuals and business do, make sure they make a great first impression. Because if you don't make a great first impression, you're going to lose opportunities, you're going to lose customers, you're going to lose business, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So I help you with that so you can present yourself and be in the best position to achieve your desired outcomes and help you win. So how do you do that? You can hit me in the chat here, hit me on IG, hit me on social media, and that way I can connect and work with you. It's very, very simple to do that because I want you to win. I want you to put yourself in the position to get your desired outcomes. So let's talk about the topic here this evening, and it's coming of age. And the topic of discussion is Kyrie Irving, but or the person I'm doing the case study on is Kyrie Irving, and he's a young man. I think he's 32, 33. But this is not just something for men because women go through this as well too. They may reach, we all do as human beings, whether we're young, middle aged, a little bit more mature or whatnot. And even coming up, we reach various milestones in our life, various crossroads on our life, and we may say, you know what, the old outcomes or the old way I was doing things was it may have served me then at that particular time, but it doesn't serve me now, and I'm not getting those type of outcomes. So it's okay to grow. It's okay to evolve, and that's why I encourage individuals to do because you are the person you are today on July 17th, 2024. But in a few months, at the end of the year, you're going to learn. You're going to grow. Hopefully, you make progress so you can evolve and do and be better in a lot of different areas. And why is that important as an image consultant or as an image professional? Because you think about it this way: as an image professional, um, I work with people on appearance, and over time, you may or may not change your appearance from a style personality standpoint. But some areas that you definitely should be evolving in is your behavior, because as you learn more, you learn better, you know better, you do better, as well as when your communication as well. How do you present yourself to get your outcome? So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Denise Mobley says hello. Yeah, hello everyone. Hello Denise. Thank y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We definitely appreciate that. And so yeah, that's what I got right there. It's just about coming of age, learning, growing, and even as an individual, as a business person, I'm constantly sharpening my tools, constantly doing things to learn, grow, and get better. And not only that, I'm constantly taking on challenges, and that's what we're gonna see here today. So let me see here. Let me pull this up here. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go here. Let me share my screen. All right, so let me do a check right quick, make sure my screen is showing up like it's supposed to, and it's changing like it's supposed to. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Let me check. Maybe my phone is a little bit delayed. Okay, yeah, we're cooking now. Okay, great. Looks like my slides and whatnot is working. So we're gonna go ahead and put in work. So I am Eric Carr, your success concierge, and today we're talking about crossing over and coming of age. And it's very apropos for the individual we're talking about, one of the kings of the crossover, Mr. Kyrie Irving. So we're going to talk about him, his journey, his coming of age. So let's get started. So of course, I told y'all know me. If I see it, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna get these baby pictures. So this is Kyrie and his dad. He was born March 23rd. He's actually born in Australia. He actually has dual citizenship. His father was playing professional basketball over in Australia, so he was born there. So he has dual Australian and American citizenship. His his mother was African American as well as Lakota, which is one of the Indian tribes here in North America. He has an older sister and a younger sister. Reminds me a lot of myself. And one thing, because he's known for some of his finishes, with both hands. He was actually born left-handed, but when he went to Catholic school, for whatever reason, they discouraged him from using that. That's something very prevalent with people left-handed. People want to change it. All right. So I got another picture here, young man. He moved to the U.S. when he was 2, but his mother died of illness when he was 4 years old. And so after his mom passed, along with his dad, who he has a very, very strong relationship with, his aunts helped raise him. His father remarried in 2004, and the young lady he remarried, Chantilly O'Reilly, that's currently his agent. So great story right there. And he always had a love of the game, even as a young man. His father played at Boston University, and he played for the Bulleen Boomers in the Southeast Australian Basketball League. And so when Kyrie was growing up, they moved to West Orange, New Jersey. He would always attend his father's adult league games. So when he was in 4th grade, he had a school trip to Continental Airlines Arena, which that used to be the basketball arena up in the New Jersey area, up in that area. And he played on the court. He said, I will play in the NBA, I promise." And one thing that's really important about that particular promise is his father, after his mom passed, his father gave up his his professional career and his professional dreams so he could raise his two other siblings, him and his two other siblings. So he spent a lot of time at Boston University, and he showed great skills there. Even as a young man in 5th grade, the head coach at the time, Dennis Wolf, offered him a scholarship. So we've seen that before. We have young phenoms; they get offered scholarships, and he played AAU basketball for the Roadrunners. You see him here in this jersey here. He had a great high school career. He started off at Montclair Kimberly Academy. That's the MKA that you see here, and he played 2 seasons with them. And over those 2 seasons, he averaged 26 and a half points, 10.3 assists, 4.8 rebounds, and 3.6 steals. He was the second person to score 1,000 points for that school. And in his sophomore season, he led them to their first New Jersey Prep B state title, and after which he's transferred to St. Patrick's, which you see down here. Now, after sitting out for 30 days because of the transfer rules, he went on to average 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and he led the team to their third tournament champion in 4 years. So they were a very great team. And then in 2009, he led the East title to USA East to a title Nike Global Challenge, averaging 21.3 points, 4.3 assists. Now, his senior year, his school was banned from the state tournament because they held practice earlier than they were supposed to. For those who don't know about sports and those type of things, like whether it's college, high school, even professional, there are deadlines that you can't do certain things before or after. So one of the deadlines or hard lines is practicing. So his team practiced before the deadline or before that date, and they got banned. But they still finished 24-3, and they won the Union County tournament. But Kyrie averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and he went on to be selected to the 2010 Junior National Select Team. He was also a McDonald's All-American, and he was in the Jordan Brand Classic, and he won co-MVP with Harrison Barnes, who some of you may know about, plays in the NBA, played with the Warriors as well too. And as part of the 2010 USA FIBA American Under-18 Championship team, they were able to win the gold medal. Let's talk about his college career, all right? Because like he was rated the number 2 point guard by scouts, and the number 2 point guard by Rivals.com, and number 4 overall player. So Kyrie was a phenom. On October 22nd, 2009, he committed to Duke on an ESPNU event. So it used to be a TV channel. But he didn't play much for Duke because he got injured. So he played the 2010-2011 season. Through the first 8 games, he was averaging 17.4 points, 5.1 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.5 steals on 53% shooting before he had the big toe injury. And so he returned March 17th, just in time for the first round of the NCAA tournament. And they got to the Sweet 16, and they lost to Arizona. But Kyrie scored 28 points in that game. And at that point, he declared for the NBA draft. Now, so 2011, 2012, Cleveland Cavaliers had the number 1 overall pick, and they selected Kyrie Irving, who had a great rookie season. During the All-Star weekend, they have a Rising Stars Challenge, and that's for the rookies and second-year players. And he won the MVP his first year. He scored 34 points and went 8 for 8 shooting from 3. And then as a rookie, he won the Rookie of the Year, received 117 to 120 first-place votes, averaged 18.5 points, 5.4 assists on 46.9% from field goal, and 39.9% from 3. So Kyrie was definitely someone who came into the league holding his own, performing at a high level. All right. So let's talk about the next year. Next year, he started off kind of slow. He broke his hand in summer league because he got frustrated of a turnover because he made a turnover, and he had to have surgery. And he said, he learned. He's like, I'm a little disappointed. I have to be more responsible for my health. It was just crazy. It happened so fast. But even still, he made his first All-Star game. He was selected by the coaches. He scored 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds in the game. He also played in the Rising Stars Challenge game again, scoring 32, and he won the 3-point contest. Now, for his rookie year, for his sophomore season, he averaged 22.5 points, 5.9 assists, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. So he's showing a lot of improvement in his game. So let's go to 2013, 2014. He was the All-Star game MVP. It was the first game he started. He was voted in by fans, scored 31 points and 14 assists, and then recorded his first triple-double shortly thereafter on February 28th with 21 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. He had a career-high 44 points in a 96-94 loss to the Charlotte Bobcats, And then that for the season, he averaged 20.8, 6.1, 3.6 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. All right. So that was his first 3 seasons. And so he showed improvement, started performing, proving himself to be a good player in the league. And then he signed in July 2014, he signed a 5-year, $90 million contract extension. Now, this was before LeBron James decided to come back to Cleveland, but LeBron James returned and they traded for Kevin Love, as you see right here. And they started off the season slow. They went 5-7, and they had some up and down season. Toward the end of the season, they had they won 34 of the final 43 games, and they finished, 53-29. They had a 12-game winning streak, and in January he had a then career high 55 points. And then in March, he had 57 points and a victory over the Spurs. And they breezed through they made it to the NBA Finals. He missed 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals with a knee injury. And then he fractured his kneecap in game 1 in overtime in game 1 of the NBA Finals. And he did not return till the following season. So you see him. This is him with LeBron James and Kevin Love. And then you see him headed to the locker room after he had that injury. But let's talk about 2015, 2016. So Kyrie, he wasn't able to start the season because he was still recovering from that knee injury. But he made his debut in December, and he scored 12 points in 17 minutes of play. That particular season, the Cavs went 57-25. They went 12-2 in the Eastern Conference, and they made it all the way to the finals. So in the finals, they were down 3-1. But in Game Five, he scored 41 points and overall performed well in the last 4 games of the series to help, along with the team, bring the team back from a 3-1 deficit. And this is the picture of the shot with 53 seconds left in Game Seven. Kyrie hits a step back three in front of the Golden State Warriors bench, giving the Cavs a 3-point lead with 53 seconds left. LeBron James would go on to make a free throw a little bit later on in the game, and they would win the game 93-89, giving the Cavs their victory, first victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as they were able to come back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals. All right, so even in that time, he had some international play. So as I said, Kyrie had dual citizenship, and so the Australian team, they wanted him to play for them in 2012, but he wanted to focus on 2016. So in 2014, he helped Team USA win the FIBA World Cup, and he was the MVP of that. Uh, he was named USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year, and then he also won the 2016 gold medal with that team in Rio. So you see him wearing his gold medal, and you see him in Rio. So let's go back to the NBA. So in 2016, 2017, the Cavs received their championship rings. He played in the home debut, and and scored 29 points. So for the overall for the year, the Cavs went 51-31. Irving averaged 25.2 points, 5.8 assists, 1.2 steals on 47% from the field goal and 40.1% from the three. And Cleveland breezed through the Eastern Conference. They went 12-1 in the Eastern Conference playoffs, but they got down 3-0 to the Warriors, and so played well in Game Four, scoring 40 points, extended the series, but they would go on to lose in Game Five and lose the series 4-1. All right, so this is where some of the controversy a little bit comes in with Kyrie. So in July 2017, he requested a trade because there were rumors from both years that the Cavs and LeBron they wanted to trade him for CP3 after they won the title, and then even Paul George after the 2017 season. And so Kyrie had an injury, and he was going to sit out the season and have surgery if he wasn't traded. So on August 22nd, they traded him to the Boston Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, the point guard Isaiah Thomas, not the Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and a pick that led to Colin Sexton. But even that year, he made second team All NBA. But his time in Boston and was anti-dramatic, anticlimactic, so to speak. He played 127 out of 64 games over the 2 seasons. He averaged 24.1 points per game, 5.8 assists on 49% field goal and 40% from three. And so some of the things that came up was him saying, "Hey, you should listen to me." He didn't fully buy in. That's what he later admitted as well too. He didn't fully buy into the Boston way, and even though Kyrie was a young man, his teammates were even younger than him. And so some of the things that came into question was his ability to be a leader, his ability to stay, to take account, not necessarily take accountability, but his ability to upskill and get his teammates to buy in as well as follow. All right, so that time was uneventful. So let's go 2019 to 2023, his time with the Brooklyn Nets. All right, so July 17th, 2019, he signed up with Brooklyn Nets, and Kevin Durant and later James Harden joined them. But he came out the gate smoking. Like in his first debut game, had 50 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and he was the first player in NBA history to debut with a 50-point game. But he still had some injuries. He missed 26 games with a shoulder injury. On January 20th, he had 45 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And that's January 25th. But January 26th, tragedy struck They were supposed to play the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, and he left the arena and didn't after hearing about Kobe Bryant's death. And so he played January 30th. He had a big game, 54 points on 19 of 23 shooting. But he, on February 20th, he announced he would go undergo season-ending surgery and would not play the remainder of the year. Following season, made his seventh NBA All-Star game, joined the elusive 50-40-90 club. He shot 50% from the field goal, 40% from three, 92% from free throw line, while averaging 26.9 points, six rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, and 1.4 steals per game. Sorry about the typo on that. But made it to the playoffs. He injured his ankle, landing on Giannis Antetokounmpo's foot, and missed Game 5. But the Nets would lose the series in 7. Then the following year, this is another controversy. Kyrie was ruled ineligible by Sean Marks to play or practice because New York City at the time, where Brooklyn Nets were, they had a mandate that required people to be COVID-19 vaccinated, and Kyrie did not want to do that, and so, but he sat out games, didn't mind losing the money, anything like that, and so he was allowed to play part time in New York, outside of New York and Toronto, because they had a lot of injuries, and there was an extended workload of minutes for James Harden and Kevin Durant. And so, due to injuries, he made his debut from those players. He made his debut on January 5th, scoring 22 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And they won their first play-in game to secure the 7th seed, but they were swept by the Boston Celtics, and that was the first time Kyrie was swept in his career. So, following year, he took the $37 million player option, but he got suspended on November 3rd because there was some controversy about some of his tweets and his comments, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But he was suspended for 5 games for failing to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs. But he still made the All-Star game, his 8th All-Star game, 6th as a starter. But after contract negotiations broke down, because he did the player option, that was been his last year, they didn't come up with the numbers he liked. So he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks on February 6th. And so he stood up for 20 games with the Mavs, almost hit another 50-40-90 season. He averaged 27, 6 assists per game, 1.3 steals on 51% from the field, 39.2% from three, and 94% from the free throw line. So we did talk about some of the controversial things. I really like these type of stories so you can see all sides and you can see the growth. So it started, back in February 2017. He did an interview and said the earth was flat. And he kind of kept it up a little bit longer. And even in 2018, he says, I don't know, do your research. And so that's when, people were thinking, a little bit about his whole overall thought process as well. He also stated he believed JFK was killed by banking cartels. He did refuse to take the COVID-19 jab. And some say that that's why he was excluded from the NBA's 75th anniversary team. Now, one of the things that came out was that the Nets had did a congratulations. Hey, Kyrie, congratulations on making the NBA 75th anniversary team. But because of that particular refusal, they removed him from the team. Some people question that. And then September 15th, 2022, he did share an Alex Jones post. And Alex Jones, he can be a controversial figure. It definitely rubbed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA legend, the wrong way because he said Alex Jones was not a very good human being. And so he also had, Hebrew Israelites doctrines. And so that's why the date skips a little bit. So March, he tweeted for the first time about the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. And then October 27, 2022, he tweeted a link to Hebrew to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. It was a 2018 film, but that's where some of that controversy came about with him being anti-Semitic or allegedly being anti-Semitic. And even later after that, he stated like there were some things in the movie that were very unfortunate. So make of that what you will. Now, but 2023, 2024, he had a resurgence. with the Dallas Mavericks. Played 58 games, scored 25.6 points, 5.2 assists, 1.3 steals on 49.7. I almost at the 50, 40, 90, 41.1% from three, and 90.5% from the free throw line. And so the sports writers declared that this season was a renaissance revival and a redemption of Irving's career because he had some different challenges in the various stops he went. Late in his time with Cleveland, his entire time with Boston, as well as New Jersey as well too. Um, I wanted to do this a while ago. The Cavs did. I mean, excuse me, the Mavericks did make it to the NBA Finals. They lost to the Celtics in five, but this is kind of like the resurgence and growth of him as a young man, as you see here. All right. So on the big screen, he appeared on the Disney Channel in the episode of Kicking It. That's him, Uncle Drew, the old man, young man. Yes, that is Kyrie right there with the beard. This is him down here playing in the Grays, and then the movie that came out in 2018, and then he also did voiceover for Family Guy in 2018. But on the business side, he had signed a deal with Nike, and in 2017, he had the best-selling shoes behind LeBron James. But this is a picture of him with Anta. That's a company out of China. He announced a partnership with them. That was late last season. And he's chief community officer for a company called Crew Kicks, which focuses on community causes and blending art and basketball on a global scale. Personal life, he enjoys reading, journaling, singing, and plays baritone sax, which is interesting because not a lot of people play baritone saxophone. And then also too, his godfather is Rod Strickland, NBA guard who was known for some of his great finishes. He does have two sons with Marlene Wilkinson and a daughter with an ex-girlfriend. As I said earlier, he was close friends with Kobe Bryant. In 2018, he had a welcome home celebration along with his sister at the Standing Rock Indian Reservation. As I stated before, his mom was Lakota, and so he's been active in that particular space as well too. So let's talk about him supporting causes. You see him with NBA Cares, and then him talking to some students. But he supported water protectors for that Standing Rock Indian tribe. He has his KAI Family Foundation. He paid off some debts for student debts for Lincoln University. He donated money to George Floyd. He donated 1.5 million to the WNBA players who were unable to play or chose not to play during the C-19 pandemic. He donated 300,000 to food banks with the city of Harvest on his birthday. He donated 17 pounds of food to the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. And then on July 2021, he built Solar Water Center in Pakistan with the Piney Project. All right. So let's talk about some lessons right here. Kyrie Irving, as far as appearance, he has an urban style personality, urban / hip hop style personality because he's young, he's a basketball player. He likes to be comfortable as well too, and he also has a little bit of ruggedness as well too because he's a bit of an outdoorsman as well. All right, behavior. You just see him, spending time with his family, practicing basketball, doing what he does. Um, Never been in really much trouble outside of some of the things he said, or even well, let's say this. So when you could say when he decided to sit out or not play or demand trades, that could be linked to that as well too. Communication. He's had some controversial tweets and things like that in press conferences. And then digital footprint. He is a professional athlete. Things are everywhere. So I will say this. You know, Seeing other things with Kyrie, especially recently as he's been traded to Dallas, more laid back, more focused on family, more focused on life, focused on health. And it seems that in Dallas, he's found a situation that he likes. And when I say he likes, he's comfortable with some of the things around here, some of the atmosphere, and get just where he has his station in life. So he's come around a lot, and you see like since he hasn't really had much controversy since joining, like right after the 2022 season, and then also too the writers have said, this is resurgence, this is redemption, and for young man Kyrie Irving, I hope he continues on this path. Hope he continues to do some great things. So I am Eric Hall, your success concierge. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to this case study on Kyrie Irving. All right, so let's go into the chat here. Let's see what we got here. Of course, we're going to go to the questions that people have. I'm always enjoyed this particular portion. But let's see what type of questions we have here. And let me put the link here, because if you want to come and join, you are welcome to do that. So you can always come up on the panel and join. And then also too, uh, you want to ask your question, you can do it here in the chat, or you can hit me on the Cash App or whatever you see fit, because I appreciate all individuals who support the channel. But we're going to go ahead and jump into some questions after this case study. And let's see what we got here. I know y'all going to give me some good ones. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here. Y'all coming for me. All right. So, what do you think about Bronny James' Summer League performance? Well, his Summer League performance has not been the best. A lot of individuals are really coming down hard on him about the Summer League performance. Has he done well? No, he hasn't done well thus far. Can he do better? Absolutely. Will he do better? That's yet to be seen. Now, we did talk about nepotism. I did do a case study on him a few weeks ago. And what I ultimately said was this, right? It's going to be up to him to perform on the basketball court. So he's going to have to be the one to show and prove that says, okay, I can perform at this level. I belong here, because from a media standpoint, you have individuals in media saying, yes, well, JJ Redick, which is the Lakers coach, saying, yes, he belongs here. Yes, he wasn't given this. Yes, he's earned it. Okay, whatever the reason was, it whether he earned it, didn't earn it, it doesn't matter at this point. What matters now is he going to perform? So far, he has not been able to perform. So this is an opportunity that's going to really test this young man to see if what he's made of, and see does he really want it. Because he struggled. So what does that mean? If he wants to perform better, he's got to get in the gym. He's got to put in work. He's got to take challenges, and it may be difficult road. So how much work is he willing to put in? Has he reached his ceiling? Has he reached his max? We don't know. But so far, he has not probably performed the way he would like, how others would like, and he's going to have to perform better, because no amount of uh, excuse making, no amount of chances, no amount of any of that stuff really matters unless you go out there and you do what needs to be done. So far, he has not done that. And, from what I see from a media standpoint, there's a lot of organizations making excuses for him, kind of running cover. And to me, that's not good, because at this point, people say he's 19. But at this point, you're a professional, meaning you're getting paid to perform. You're no longer a college player. You're no longer an amateur. You're a professional, and you're doing this on the public stage. And so when you enter into the public square, you open yourself up for criticism, good or bad. So that's what we're seeing now. And so it's yet to be seen how he's going to grow and develop from there, and how he's going to perform. But again, to me, now that he's a professional, regardless of how he got there at this point, he's a professional, and he's fair game to be critiqued on him and his performance, how he performed. I'm not going to get into his personal life. I did that in the case study. I'm not going to get into other stuff. It's strictly about how well he performs, and that's what he has to show and prove going forward. So mark that, book it. I said it July 17th, 2024. And we may revisit this topic at another time, another day, if there's a change or whatnot. But I thank y'all for that question. All right, so let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see here. Okay, let's go to this question right here. I get this question all the time too. I saw a suit for $99. Should I purchase it? Well, it depends, right? So I have a video and content on what to look for and how to purchase a suit. So again, we can still talk about the three rules or the three questions that you should ask before you purchase an item. So one, where you're going to wear it to. Two, what's the message you're going to send? Three, what's the value at, or as I like to say, the cost per wear. Now, this 99 suit, Uh, I don't know where it came from. So it could be you got it from a secondhand store. It could be you got it from somewhere else. Like you could have got it from anywhere. So I don't know the overall quality. But if it's a $99 brand new suit that wasn't gifted, any of the other stuff, I would ask you those questions, and then I would like to get into the quality, right? Because typically, nicer quality material is going to have a cost associated with that. And the same is true with shoes. Like there's a cost associated with the quality as well as what you have to do to create and manufacture that item. So if you just, in a rush and you want to get something, you want to go somewhere, all right, cool. So typically a $99 suit is not going to be custom, meaning it's not going to be designed, tailored to you, your needs, your body, your shape. So even if you purchase that, you're more than likely going to have to get it adjusted in a number of different areas. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but one thing I do know is like the shoulders, this is an area that you can't really, as they say, do much with from this area down. So the things you can adjust is the length, how it fits in the waist area. You can take it out, let it in, and so look at how much of that you have to do and will it look well, because the main thing I tell individuals is it has to fit properly. So if you just got something quick and I got this event, okay, go ahead. Just understand it may not fit you the best way you want it to fit, and it may not have the type of longevity that you may have. Now that's if you're buying it new. Now if you got buying it secondhand, it's some gems out there, right? It could be on eBay. It's a lot of gems out there. Estate sales, thrift stores, consignment stores, storage bin stores, sales. So not to say you can't find something like that secondhand, but the thing you want to do is make sure it fits properly and understand how long it's going to last from a material standpoint. So my mantra is always buy the best or most highest quality thing that you can afford. So hopefully that answers your question without getting into all of the details on what I know. All right. So let's see here. Oh, we got some good ones. All right, let me go ahead and address this, right? Y'all be trying to get me. So I know you don't get into politics. What are your thoughts on the shooting? All right. So for those who, depending on when you watch this, when you see this, former President Trump survived this assassination attempt last weekend in Pennsylvania. Um, he was injured, and then a couple other people were critically injured, and one other person was killed. And so my thoughts on that is like it's very, very unfortunate, and I want nothing but strength and comfort to the families of the individuals who were killed, or and that includes the alleged perpetrator as well as the one protecting his family, and then those who were injured as well too. I'm not gonna I let other people go into the dynamics on the politics side. Anytime that there's a tragedy, regardless of where it comes from, left, right, center, U.S., foreign, whatever, that's never a good thing. And so that's my feedback and comments on that. I'm not going to get any further deeper into that. They have a lot of other people who do a good job doing political commentary, doing that type of commentary. So I leave that to them. Y'all be trying to get me to talk about politics. All right, so let's see here. Okay. This is a good question right here. Who's harder to style, men or women? Wow, that's a good question. Um, so it depends, right? So each one has their advantages and their disadvantages. And I'll go to men first and then I'll go to women. All right. So for men, the challenge is a lot of times, as I've stated before, 85% of men's clothes is purchased by women. And so if you fall into that category, if a man falls in that category, a lot of times, they get stuff that may or may not be their style personality. They may not be used to spending on certain type of things, and they may not be used to getting things that fit. Because you think about it like this: when you're young, your mom buys you clothes, and she makes them a little bit bigger so you can grow into them, right? And then a lot of men do not like to shop, so they just want to get something quick, not to talk bad, but a lot of them don't use tailors. A lot of them just get it as is and don't go deep into that. So just shifting that mindset that's a bit of a challenge for them, but it's easier to find things because one, I'm a man and I wear men's shoes, so I know how these things fit. I know how the level of comfort is, right? So that's the challenge with men. With women, and that's the challenge as well as the easy part. With women, it's a little bit different. One, women typically know about buying clothes, right? They know kind of what their styles are and what they need. So I can easily focus on like color, fit, the shape, how it accentuates various parts of the body. I can easily come in that. Some of the challenges is like because I don't wear women's shoes or some of the other things that accessories, like I can't hard assess the level of comfort of each, right? And then also too, women have a very wide spectrum of budget, right? So I understand to get men's clothes, I always have a rule they should spend 3 times as much, but buy a third of the time. And then for women, they may have multiple pairs of black shoes, various lengths. So I understand that as well too. So that's the challenge. But I actually have fun with both groups, styling both because I do have male clients as well as female clients, and I just like taking on that challenge, learning. But I really enjoy bringing the satisfaction to them of them getting something that meets their needs, that helps them out, that gets them the outcome they want. Because it doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman, you still have the 3 questions. One, where you're going to wear it to. The major question two is, what's the message you want to send? And so that's one thing I really, really work with both men and women on. And then the third thing is the value add. What's the cost per wear for that? So yeah, each one has their different challenges. Um, and I enjoy doing both. I don't discriminate as it relates to that. So you can always hit me on Instagram or here, and we can set up some time to do a consultation or work with you on that. All right. So let's see what else we got here. All right. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good one because y'all got on me last time. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the gender war? This is an interesting topic right here because I know some people say there's a gender war, but there's a lot of, I guess, back and forth between the men and the women, and it's interesting to me because again, different groups they want different things. So you could call it a gender war, you could call it men versus women, whatever the case may be. But I just focus on outcomes. One thing that's going on is if people are warring, going back and forth, they're not getting together, right? And so, or they're being, I guess, combative one against one another in various ways. I'm trying to get this. This group is trying to get that. So it's like, what is the outcome that you really want? And so I choose to focus on the men and the women who want an outcome. All right. How do you get better outcomes? You have to be a better you. And so you should be a better you for you in other areas, not necessarily to get a mate because that is a byproduct. So if you're the best in your appearance, you're the best in your behavior, you're best in your communication, you're best in your digital footprint, you're the best in your craft, you're the best in how you communicate and interact with individuals. Those skill sets right there, that's going to make you a better version of yourself. Now, by doing that, that's going to put you in position to have more choices, more options with make choices. So that's what I choose to focus on. Uh, the going back and forth, it can be entertaining. I will say that. But if someone comes to me, I want to focus on what's the outcome that they want to achieve, right? So if they want to do this, let's focus on that. If they want to do this and not interact with people, let's focus on that. It doesn't matter to me. It's I want to help you get your desired outcomes, whatever they may be. And to get better outcomes, you have to be a better you. And I work with you and I help you so you can be the best version of yourself. You can be a better you. So that's my thoughts on that. But it is very, very entertaining, especially with some of the TV shows we got going on right now. Because I did talk about Pop the Balloon last time, and as well as some of the various podcasts where people are talking. I will say this. Previously, before the internet, before the market got where a lot of people could express themselves, and that could be a positive thing or that could be a negative thing. But people are able to see different perspectives, whether they agree with them or not agree with them, and they're able to also voice their own opinions. And so at the end of the day, if you want some, you have to come to the table and have a conversation with the person you want to get that from. And either they want to provide it, they don't want to provide it, but focus on the outcomes as it relates to that. So that is my thoughts on the gender war, but it's very entertaining. I do know quite a few people who are in various, parts of that. Their red pill, as you want to call it, and they do good work. And you just have to decide if that's something that you want to do, that's something that you don't want to do, that's something you want to hear to. But focus on outcomes. That's what it's all about. And if you're not getting outcomes, then adjustments need to be made. And I commented on that when someone asked me about my thoughts on passport bros. If that's what they want to do to get their outcomes and they're not harming people, harming that, then that's what they choose to do. So I don't police people's love. I want to keep it PG. I don't police people's love and mating strategies, just help them get outcomes. So that's that right there. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's see here. All right, so I'm on the type timeline. Can you work with me to prep for an event? Absolutely. I mean, the thing is this, right? Timeline is timeline, whether it's a short timeline or a long timeline. It's all about what you are willing to do and what type of work that you put in, right? Now, some timelines, as we say, are very aggressive. Some timelines are very far apart. But the thing is like, let's focus on the outcomes, because I would, talk to you about what your specific needs are. And then let's talk about a plan of action. A lot of times when people are on deadlines or tight timelines, is because maybe they make the task too big, right? So it can be a very, very large task initially, but if you break it down into smaller parts and you focus that energy for that amount of time, you focus on this task for this amount of time, you focus on this for this time, you time box it, and you focus on what you want to do with the outcome, and you execute it with strength, accuracy, and aggressiveness. Then that's how you help shorten and shrinking timelines for that. And also, too, when you deal with a professional like myself, because one thing is, a lot of times when people have tasks, is because they don't know the approach. They don't know exactly what their plan of action is, and or even if they do know, they struggle with the execution. And so that's where I come in. I help you with that execution. So if the timeline is very aggressive, we can come up with a plan to achieve that desired outcome within that timeline. But also too, it has to be what you're willing to do. I mean, I go back to my time with doing work for school, and sometimes I will admit I did wait to the last minute to get certain papers done, certain projects done, certain assignments done. And sometimes I had to spend some late nights, putting things together, late nights typing at the computer, late nights studying, cramming so I could be prepared. So, yes, the timeline, it could be a bit of a challenge, but it also has to do with what your level of commitment is to achieving that outcome. I can work with you, I can help you with the plan, I can help you in those areas, but we got to focus on the energies necessary with which to do that. And I definitely can help and assist with that. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's see what other questions that we have. Okay, this is a good one. Covered it, but I'll cover it again. How can I improve my public speaking? All right, so you can go back through my page. I do have a video where I talk about how to improve your public speaking, but I'll get into it a little bit here. All right. So the number one rule of public speaking is one, know your content. All right. So a lot of times it could be if you're doing a speech, or it could be you're going to be asked questions, right? Because I know there's pageants, there's events and things of that nature that people want to participate in. And so being confident in knowing your subject matter, as well as being confident in speaking and presenting that, that's something that I work with individuals on. And part of that is done through repetition, it's done through practice, it's done through simulation, mock conversations, mock interviews, mock speeches. So you get comfortable saying the words, get comfortable presenting the information, get comfortable with that. And so, one of my biggest challenges many, many years ago, I helped the eighth grader do a keynote speaker for high school and adults, and he had his voice hadn't even changed. And so, I work with him on his confidence. I work with him on his soft skills. I work with him in those areas to help him in order to be able to perform and be able to do that. So that really taught me that I can help anyone because a lot of the challenges is mental. And so I work with you to help you overcome those mental blocks, overcome those limited beliefs, those different type of things that may help have you view these things as a challenge, causing you not to be able to feel as confident as you want to. So, one, I'm gonna work on this up here, help you get that done. Also, too, you working with your success concierge, so I'm gonna make sure your image is on point from your appearance as well, too. So, not only will you be confident up here, you'll be confident out here, and it'll show. And so, remember, appearance, behavior, communication, because you're public speaking, so you won't necessarily be digital footprint unless they're recorded. But I'm gonna make sure that you are on point in all three of those areas, all 3 to 4 of those areas. So when you do that, your confidence level is gonna go up, and then you're gonna build a level of comfort so that you can continue to do that and perform at a high level. So that is it right there. Let me see what else we got. Let me check on the chat here. Let me put the link in here in case anybody wants to come up here today. But let's see if we have any more questions before we head out. Nah, I think that is it. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this case study. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but you know how we do over here. We focus on getting better. We focus on improving. We focus on making sure we get our desired outcomes. I am Eric Hall, your success concierge, providing you the vision, tools, and opportunity for your desired success. And we are out. Salute. Good night.